Did you hear me? One, two. All right, can you hear me? All right, one, two. Yeah, I'm your favorite Magi Sufi Il, and this is your Moorish National Press Ministry conference call. You know, first I rise, give all praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of all the worlds and boundless universes, been changing the literature through the multimedia. So welcome. This is our recruitment and press conference, and we are issuing press credentials to journalists, reporters, photographers, videographers to cover. And to cover, that means to attend and take photographs, videos, sometimes, interview folks and the like at events, including but not limited to press conferences, live performances, concerts, government meetings, what I'm saying, traffic in accidents, And so this is a call for all of you all who are adept at telling stories. If you are one of those folks who have been an unofficial member of Black Twitter at one time or another, and you post things about freedom, justice, and equality, well, we want you as a Moor, you're part of the nation and the temple, society, to join our Moorish uh, national press team. And just to give you a little bit of history about the Free National Press, as a part of our U.S. constitutional rights as protected as, the foreign venue, United States construct is bound by those corporate bylaws that they have and amendments that they have. And so that allows them to be bound, and we'll take a reading from the U.S. Constitution for the United States of America and other founding documents, the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, okay, proposed 1789 CE and ratified 1791. And the Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion and prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. I mean, Ashay, I'm saying? So it's the hard copy, constitutional book, that's our reading for this session as provided by the Sheikh Baba Noel, uh, Christopher Jackson Bay, praise Allah. So just to let you know, there are so many benefits, and just as a press and reporter myself over the years, I produced television shows for Mind TV, WYB Channel 35 here in the Philadelphia district, and WURD 900 AM, popular talk radio station, and also for my longest tenure was at no one other than WPED, West Philadelphia Educational Broadcasting, which was owned, operated, and founded by no one other than our illustrious elder, Sister Akitia Bey. You know what I'm saying? Radiallahu anha. May Allah be pleased with her. May she rest in, paradise, because she passed form, but she was the founder of WPED on that stuff. And so with these press credentials, the media has not any obstacles that can be placed upon it. So when we are learning how to deal with our journalism, there are rules and protocols and the like that you must adhere to for quality journalism. And so as you take the course in different modules, you will be issued a press pass, and I'll show you the back of the press pass here for our main outlet show, which is the Moorish National News. Moorish National News, and this is the back of the press credential that you Lord willing, will be able to receive. And at that point, you'll be able to get the hard card mailed to you so that you're not walking around with just a picture. And at that point, you'll be able to do some things with that. Now, some of the let's go over let's add to the stage Brother Anime Day, our current, director of communications, and Brother Sharif Baba Noel to the stage. Islam, praise Allah, y'all. How you doing in Moors? Can you hear me? All right. So go ahead. Is there any questions so far for what we're saying about our press credentials, or is it understandable?
Well, it's gonna not really take a long time for me to sumer in, but I'm gradually getting a lot of the information. I'm loving it. So I probably would have some questions later on when it hits me. Because I don't know, it's 7 more days before this shift, and I'm like out there lately. But I'm loving it though.
So, in the general, today's press media has become an ocean of freelance journalism and combined with somewhat ambush journalism, but not
Yeah.
necessarily, traditional journalism.
We're talking about
Yes.
what's his name? What's his name? Shirley. I forgot his name.
Let me
That
see.
one European that's exposing everybody lately.
Oh, is it a female or male?
It's a male.
I'm not sure. Go ahead. Steve.
Let me I'm gonna go look for it. Give me a second. I know who it is.
I just wanted to add on, that being said, right? Um, uh, uh, the media now, the main mass media, the mass media has now been learned to not be trusted. And now they're trusting more real people that have podcasts, YouTubes, lives now more. And I want to add that if you also look into your Bill of Rights within the U.S. Constitution and you read the 10th Amendment, you have some rights and immunities according to that too. And what it says that the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. And that's what some of the mass media who is backed by the state or the United States don't want. The people having power to exercise the First Amendment through the 10th Amendment. That's what I wanted to add on that. That's what's going on, and we can exercise that now because now there's a lot of people that don't trust the media. You know how Trump is saying you're fake news. We're all starting to
Fake news,
find out
fake
that
news.
there's a lot of fake news going on now, and now we can come and bring the truth, like the prophet said. Listen to the radio, watch the news, on make the European tell the truth, and now we can also tell our truth too because he says we gotta have not only just economic security, but we also have to change the literature, have our multimedia out. All right, that's what the prophet said. This is what we got to do. So back to you, Chaplain, if you so please. That's all
Yes.
I wanted to add on to that.
So, with the history of free press being back in the founding of the nation, then it's been maintained over the years, and we've only recently gone cyber, just so you know. Print media, the newspaper, and all the way back from 1790 and all those times, has just now phased out
Indeed.
within the last 15 years or so. And so, with that, people have lost the sensibilities of one, the responsibilities and basic duties of journalism, the requirements and expectations, decorum, the proper questioning, or proper even covering something, even if you're not questioning it, you can just basically witness it and videotape it and all that. But also the benefits of being doing real journalism has tremendous benefits as well. And so over the years, the Moors have continue to follow the holy instructions by our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali, who had changed it literature. And so there's been many attempts to bring out different Moorish newspapers and publications. I remember the Al Moroccan Star back in the day, the Moorish Guide traditionally in the temple. And so with our Moorish National Press Ministry here is that this is the umbrella ministry which will assist the editors and writers of various Moorish publications to flourish. So we have our Moorish national and in our international news brands. We have other uh news like Moorish Most Wanted and other titles that will come on later on. And so with my experience having my press credentials, I became a press card holder in 2006 CE in the city of Philadelphia, corporate construct. And at that time, the city of Philadelphia had a press office, and that press office was in City Hall. And a lot of the press offices that are in your county uh, will be at City Hall or some government place. And throughout these workshops, you'll be learning how to obtain certain credentials and access to certain buildings and production sites and TV stations and radio stations
Hmm.
in your territory. So when you join the Moorish National Press Ministry, that press corps, you get the training, you get the credential, but you also must turn in your articles and your pictures and your content once every 7 days according to science.
Hmm.
Islam.
That's long.
And so what happens is that keeps your press card active. And so what happens is we will teach you. Let's see, one moment. Now we will teach you how to. Pardon me. Let's see. Now I'll give you an example of how I use my press pass. I worked for Mind TV Channel 35. I was the community liaison for the television station. Barely knew anything about television production besides turning on the TV. I was just a consumer, I'm thinking. So I've grown so much in television production over the years. However, it's a long learning curve. Now, when I received my press credentials, part of my job and a part of your job will be to attend the concerts. I always use it. I've been to every concert from Patti LaBelle to French Montana to uh, any other Barack Obama surprise visit to the city in places that no one else can really be at in general. So for so many years, when I was so actively striving to get the content out there that was entertainment based, I went to concerts 2, 3 times a month. I went to sporting events, and the like. And so a part of your on the job training is that we will task you and give you certain events to attend to cover these events. And covering an event means that you're going in there in a certain capacity with an agenda up front to either just take pictures and audio or maybe even possibly interview a particular group or solo artist, or maybe even do a round robin of interviews to collect for an episode or some other purposes. Being a member of the press is still a little better than VIP treatment a lot of times because it's depending on what level of VIP you're at as a attendee, those levels to this thing. So
Yeah.
you might not be at the VIP level to do certain things that you might want to. However, as a member of the press, they'll be able to uh, put you on a list, right? And you'd be in the green room and you'd be giving steaks and hoagies, alhamdulillah, and
Steaks and hoagies.
and subhanallah, and whatever they making for the artists and stuff. And so there will be a lot of accidents. There will be violent, you know, violent incidents, and there will be all kinds of times when you walk up, get off the bus, park your land vessel, and all of a sudden you see yellow tape and you see a whole bunch of, and so people are more emotionally and readily taking content often. In classic terms, that was called being a zinger. And a zinger is somebody who would see the accident and maybe do a little bit of ambulance chasing or no, because they may have just been present where the accident was at, right? They take the picture and they turn the footage in. Maybe they take a very good picture, or maybe they take and then they turn it into the news. So a lot of people get three, four, five, 700 notes. You know what I'm saying? $700, all kind of stuff for all kind of amounts. Now, if you have a good camera and experience and a good editing style, people have made a living in a side hustle and the whole nine off of taking a picture of the accident, taking a quality picture of the participants, doing all the stuff people kind of do now they just do it from the window or whatever they can catch. But when they're doing it professionally, they get it real clean. And a lot of times you watch the news broadcast anywhere in the country, and you don't know that a good percentage, maybe 10% of every 11 o'clock news broadcast is what? From zingers who actually turned that footage in and got paid $500, and now it comes on your, your 11 o'clock news. So there's different aspects to the press and media in that sense. However, this will be a fun ride, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is how this is. You've just tuned in. This is the Moorish American Press Ministry. And, I'm the Magi Sufi Il. And we're still here talking about the requirements and protocols to be a press card holder and have your press credentials issued by the Moorish National Republic and by our Moorish American Press Ministry. And a part of the requirement is that we maintain our Moorish national newsletter, right? So part of the requirement for us to have our press passes active is to maintain our newsletter every year according to science. You see, we have the seals and the authority and the warrant of authority and a charter for the Moorish National Republic. So we're fine as an entity to have our press corps to being legit and recognized. However, it doesn't matter if you're a legit organization as a press organization. You can be $1 million press organization. If you do not broadcast once every 7 days or put out a newspaper article once every 7 days, they will consider your press status inactive. And so a part of the requirements, let me see, I'm having a little technical difficulty. A moment. Let's see. Pretty sure this Wi-Fi is working good. So a part of the requirements are for you to be able to attend at least one outing per month, if you understand. At least one outing per month. We need you to be able to be available and in good spirits and trained up to attend a local concert, attend a local wellness fair, attend a local city council meeting, right? Attend
Okay.
a local line dance party, attend a local temple meeting, attend and cover an activist street protest in your community, attend and cover a press conference that the city has somewhere that we're going to show you how to find your way to get onto that press board, even on the spot, right? So we have our website, grandbodyrecords.org, and we have our Moorish National uh, news and tab and everything. And your your articles will be published there as a newsletter, and we also will print them, right? So once again, we're going to show what the back of the card looks like. And when and the brother here, for the anime day, he actually he got the front of his card. He said, "Well, tell us what you thought of it."
I loved it.
And let's see, here's the back side.
I didn't see what the backside looked like though.
Okay, let's pull it up. Bang. So the Moorish National News is our main brand for now and overall. And so we will all be covering for the Moorish National News. As time goes on, we will be covering for other media products within the umbrella. You see, so the Moorish National News, if you don't know, we used to broadcast that, and Sister Taisha Lightfoot Bay, the Sheikest, and I in 2012 and 2013 CE, and it was a beautiful, beautiful broadcast. And those years we did it on freeconferencecall.com, and it was something to the fact of it's a very easy newsletter and broadcast. We would take all of our Facebook friends that were Moors, all the L's and Bays, and they post their birthdays, their weddings, they post their children winning boxing matches, they post all those things. So we just collected and put it out there. People really loved it. They really felt good about it. And they're like, whoa, you saw that on my page and you put it out on a national broadcast for that year according to science. It made it, it's an easy answer. And so we'll continue that format and also add in the actual financial weather report from Baba Noel, Noble Seafood, Christopher Jackson Bay. We'll add in the actual, astrologics and Saphia Eel and We'll add in, all the different reporters in the field who have stories for that particular uh, print or episode of the Moorish National News. So any questions so far?
I'm trying to think of a question. Um, so once out of the month, try to go to a concert. Would like I'm trying to think. Would seminars count as well?
Yes.
I love
Seminars.
something like maybe I don't know if it's worth the money sometimes, but I love to go to seminars, kind of like those real estate seminars. I love those. But would that count?
Yes.
Okay.
It
I'm
will
not much as
count
good of a
if
writer. Could I
it's
use my Gemini AI to write an article, help me write an article? Is that okay?
the beauty of it is that you have so many technological tools
Yeah.
that good journalism starts with the core basics, which is audio recording or just verbatimly recording the persons that you witness.
Okay.
So when you walk into a place and you already know that you're not able to videotape or make people feel inappropriate, maybe they don't know you're a press person yet. Maybe they don't accept you as a favored press quite yet or anything. So a lot of times, if it's private space, then you're not allowed to tape. It's illegal. So you don't want to do that without asking for consent. But if it's a public space outside in the street, in any public building, in anything like that, courthouse, whatever it is, you know, uh, then you can go in and already be audio taping. We'll put the start button when you walk out the elevator. So when you're going in the building, I wear necklaces that pick up the audio and video, really, but it's all many ways to do it now. So, but let's just say you have your phone. With that, you can pick up the audio and just get audio, and then later you could run it through another app like CapCut or Canva or InShot, and you could do what? You could actually have it transcribed to text. So you want to do those tools, Speechify. You rip the audio off if it was a video and run it through the transcriber, and it'll transcribe it to text. So you really want to report what the person actually said without adding any extra thoughts so much. Add your 2 cents in it, or whenever you add your opinion about what you're witnessing, then that's not just journalism in its purest form. Now that's editorial, they call that. You see? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
So you don't strive to do editorial first. No, you're striving to just collect the data of what people said, what the pictures were, what the videos were, and you're transcribing those words of what the real source information right from the so-called horse's mouth.
Basically, Mercury energy stuff, communication.
Well, kinda, but without interpretation, though.
Okay.
Yeah, because good journalism just starts with, oh, I just recorded, whether it's I type like a stenographer or I recorded it on tape or videotape. I just recorded what people were saying and doing. I don't got nothing to say about it. I can just push play, and people can glean from it as they may. That's the best. That's a top tier journalist. Now, included in that, when you give your opinion, your science, just anything about it that how you feel about those facts, or how you felt when you watched it, or what it made you think about when you watched it, or what conclusions you came to when you watched it. That's still editorial. which is good, but then just you got to know the difference because you can't go into journalistic circles and then give your opinion first. And they be like, well, Dad, you ain't even tell us the full facts of what was said. You just started telling us what you thought about the vote. Well, I was thinking that this ain't gonna be no fair vote. This ain't just you like, well, Dad, no, that you can do that later if that's your style of journalism. But first, just say so many people showed up, so many people was absent. They voted on this. This is how it turned out. And now on the editorial side, I just think it was really messed up, XYZ. But people could deal with it then. It's still not quack journalism. But when you start off with your conclusion, now you're just driving people to be biased. You see? So those are all important things to remember when you're writing up your articles, writing up your reports. You want to put who, what, where, when, and how, because those are the purest questions that deal with the ether. And I mean, all the elements, who, what, where, when, and how, like the 4 elements, 5 elements. But when you say why, that's the question most asked by the 85%. Because when you ask why, you're trying to ignore the obvious. Because when you found out who, what, where, when, and how, the why is already answered in there. But you want the total admission of guilt. You want, why did you do that? You know, so no, who, what, where, when, and how tells you enough. We'll let the Albion man do a case study on this ninja's brain and crack his brain open for why. We don't do that. We say why is the 2 and 5 is 7, because why is the 25th letter. So 2 and 5 is 7, which is God. So when we say why, we say why. Oh, he did it because God, because that's God, because it's nature. Who, what, where? We ain't got to ask why. Why did he kill him? Because because he's evil. Whatever. You got to go there and pass the who, what, where, and then how. Not for us scientists that can see through things. So just keep those in mind, those 5 questions, who, where, when, and how, when you're putting together your reports. So just know you have to go out. Once you start getting the hang of it, you probably want to go out every strong end. Shoot, you might, what you have to do is you'll turn in a list of the events that you want to go to so that we can contact that particular place in advance for you. And we can train you on how to reach out to them. Because for so many spaces, those expensive real estate, it is, conference, all of a sudden now you going for free as the press, it take $1,800 off your tab. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, however, if it's not newsworthy enough, then we wouldn't be able to support it. So if it was just a conference that is just something for that one guy, that one press minister to just make money or something, their private endeavors, no, that's not something we would just arrange for you to go to. But if it's something where, because this is what this is what good journalists do, and or the top tier stations, because they tell the press directors, oh yeah, I'm going to the playoff game, and they flying to Florida for the playoff game. You think the director gonna say no? They're like, yeah, now it's free because it's still newsworthy though. That's the playoff game. Our city ain't been in the playoff game in a long time. So as long as it's newsworthy, you think that the press director, you think the press director is not going to clear that? The press director go get on the phone himself. Hey, put my guy on the list. Yeah, we got to be here. Jacksonville Jaguars is going all the way. So if it's newsworthy and something that Moors across these shores can benefit from informationally, news-wise, then yes, put that name of that event, the name of that seminar, conference, whatever it is, and we will teach you, but we will also help you to obtain it so you get on the list and be able to enjoy it, cover the event, exercise your Buddhist degree, G's Buddha Confucius on the card, exercise your Buddhism, which is be in the moment, enjoy it vicariously,
Yep.
just have, be there, but also be able to do the good journalism so that way you could do what when you come back with the story, brother? What would you do after we come back? What we're going to do with the content? Anime.
Yeah. No,
What
I
we
was
going
just
to do with
thinking
the
what you were
content
saying.
after you go? I'm asking you, what were we going to do with the content after we get it, after you go to the event?
Pretty much do all the steps you said to do and put it online.
But online specifically as what though?
It could be it could be pretty much anything, like you said. But it's got to be
It could be
newsworthy.
no, but we got to be no, but no. I'm saying the newsworthy thing that you captures, right? That newsworthy event. When you capture that footage, interviews, photos, or whatever, what are you going to do with that footage eventually?
Could put it online
You're going to, but it as a what? As a newsletter,
as
remember?
a newsletter. Yeah.
It can't be anything because your press credential ain't going to be no good.
Huh.
Did you remember what I was saying in the beginning? In order for your press credential, I said that we are a legit press entity because of our charter and because of what we're doing for national business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can be a legit press entity, but still your press credential ain't really active in the eyes of the law. Where if somebody told you you couldn't come into this press conference because we don't know who you are, and you tried to sue them using the First Amendment and all that,
You
they could drill down on it and see when the last time you put out a newsletter, and they ain't been a week ago. That's a year
okay?
important.
So you got to do everything by law as well too.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my.
mean, we the thing is, Allah makes everything easy,
Mm.
easier.
May I say it's also protocol and procedure. That's the word also you're looking for. That makes it also easy. The protocol and procedure of the thing.
Yeah, yeah, just the protocol and procedure of it, but also it speaks to the completeness of what you're doing. We do things in a holistic way, so it has to be a whole system. So, but it is already built in like that. But remember, I was saying that. So what happens is each one of our press card holders will be adding at least one article or story onto grandbodyrecords.org, onto moorishnnationalnews.com, whatever, and in print.
In print.
A lot of media organizations, just their newsletters just front and back, one piece of paper.
That's it.
They can, they write it in 10 font and they put sections in. Weather,
Oh.
it ain't that hard.
So what does I don't know if it's off topic. What does the final call do?
They do a full newspaper.
Oh yeah, they do.
Remember, we spoke all about that earlier. We were saying the newspaper and all of that have went out in the last 15 years.
Hmm.
However, they're not fully gone, though. If you are new or emerging or a smaller or family owned or a tribal press entity or temple ministry press entity, then it will behoove you to do your due diligence, because it's not like before print media went out of style that you had everybody knew your newspaper before it went to totally digital. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if they had known your newspaper and you had a Moorish newspaper that had been going for 20 years, no, trust me, even though it's totally online and not in print anymore, they wouldn't
Yeah.
care because it's well grounded. It's everywhere. They would, you know. So, but when you have a emerging or smaller press entity, they're not going to. They know they never heard of you. So you must be active in order to be valid. Also, we will assist you with registering your press credentials and obtaining press credentials in the county that you domicile in that corporate territory as well.
So I'm mostly going to be between Lee and Pinellas County, to tell you the truth. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Aha. All right. More Truth Law says Drew Ali followers are not true Moors. Oh, okay. Well, I think that's he said he's a liar. He said his name is More Truth. He's more lies.
Who said that?
Oh, somebody who's truth and falsehood. I think they just falsehood strangely mixed.
You got
Um,
trolls? Oh my God.
yeah, they be on.
Those are
Pe-
burrito or Rabos, you know.
People are supposed to believe these dropout journalists. Right. That's what boy Leonardo McFace punch. You know these Albions. They be like people that were hired long term by the Southern Poverty Law Center, and they
Yeah.
got a lot of money over the year to hire agent provocateurs because they were the ones who told the Alphabet Boys. I'm telling you, when the Alphabet Boys was looking at the Moors in the '90s, they didn't care what the Moors was doing because everything was legit. It was the Southern Poverty Law Center down south who single-handedly begged them for 3 years to make it like our people were with the sovereign citizen or whatever type of thing. They
Yep.
begged and begged. So ever since then, they just hired bots and trolls and they put money into bots.
That's what it is.
And they put money, they diversified they
And
bomb.
this is why now you have certain temples and certain Moors like Sharif and Hilbay and others get to write books about that. That's what that is, and get the because now you have Europeans and Asian provocateurs like that. They get to create a narrative like that, so therefore it could just turn folks away from certain truths because of they hide the true success stories and they would rather use the failures and those who do not follow the law to the letter with the proper protocols and procedures and use that to say, see, don't you not want to do that? Don't you want to be docile and do it this way? We're not about docile. The prophet said more is an upright, independent, and fearless, and we're active, not passive. Folks want you to be passive and docile. We're not about that. We're about active movement because forward is one of the master words of what the prophet said. Forward. It's a master
Forward.
word. Folks want to just stand still or sit in a seat. Gotta be forward.
Wow.
Gotta be
And
forward.
listen, if you just tuned in, this is our Moorish National Press Ministry conference call intro to our press corps and the issuing of the press credentials to the new recruits. And we are speaking about these trolls and those cyber and non-cyber. And this is a part of your training. And you can make sure you any of the Moors that are interested or would be interested in joining the press corps, watch this and share this, like this, and subscribe. And we are also found on Moorish Science University YouTube channel. And so with that, a part of it is you will look at these comments and then you would find Leonard McFace Punch. We're going to find where they're domiciled. We're going to find where they're bouncing off of these towers, right? So a part of that press corps is to do the logistical and cyber security investigative reports as well. So when you are a dignitary like myself, who your favorite magi Sufi ill, I was put on a dignitary protection list at different times when I first became a magistrate. You know, and so having death threats and having people like these folks who are very dangerous, uh, threatened me and on my personal cell phone number and everything like that. Um, it was something where, let me see, dang, uh-huh. So they basically put me on that list because of the death threats. But they triangulated people like this guy, more truth or more lie. And they would, and so the alphabet boys
Alphabet
and
boys.
yeah, those different alphabet boys, they would, I would turn these type of texts in if they escalated with their just being goofy now and being baby bots. But if they were to escalate, I would turn their profile in, and then the alphabet boys would triangulate them and bring them to justice and investigate them. But this is what we're doing now. I'm saying, Morris, this is a big deal. This is a big deal, right? So, but part of it, I mean, one of my favorite shows, I think, is NCIS.
Hmm.
Anybody watch that? They got the boy Jamar Moore, I think his name is.
I watched Law and Order SVU.
Huh?
I watched Law
With
and
the
Order
with the with
SVU.
the Albion lady that follows him around, and she stay in the criminal minds.
Criminal Minds.
So that's where y'all Tahuti Moors and all our press Moors, yes, y'all in the chamber. So what I'm saying, shouts out to our Boondock Saints, our first responders unit, 20 and 4 elders, and all the interfaith court marshals. Our first marshal commander Farouk Aset Bey, and you know, when these court orders are given from our court, when we do our court sessions, we have our marshals that move out to deliver those court orders, or do the process serving, deliver those. You've been served and given, right. Uh, Also, we have those missionaries who do not have any court training, but are civically grounded and trained enough that they can join the Boondock Saints first responders and not be a part of the Marshals unit, but charter under the Marshals and show up and show out, whether online or in person, for what's going on. And let's see, can you hear me now, brother?
I still can hear you.
Huh?
I still can hear you.
Oh, you can see it. Okay. So yeah. So with that, those who join the Boondock Saints and get that training, they get to do that hands-on work. And so what happens is, pardon me for 1 second, um, those who are not marshals, nor are they part of the Boondock Saints, but they are complementary. They are the media clerks. They're the press corps.
Hmm.
They're the press corps. They're the ones that, like we did, even in 2021, we didn't even know about the brother, but honors to the brother Afro Man. We have our press corps that does our propaganda, our media, our media investigations, right? What I'm saying, and that deal with all of that Tahuti energy to be able to be responsive in that way. And you hear me good?
I can hear you good.
Okay. So the so that we can actually have our court orders be enforced better. And trust me, I'll give you an example in a low tech way. Right? I'll give you an example of what we've classically done. And we've done this in July 2025, and part
Hmm.
of it in the still work. When someone that you know or love gets abducted, because I'm not a baby goat, so they can't really kidnap me.
Hmm.
However, They are foreign alien occupying forces. So as aliens, I be getting alien abducted sometimes. Don't judge me. But them Albions be alien abducted and all of that. Um, we had the loved ones, the mothers, the aunts, the sisters, right? We had them all calling the jail every day. So by the time I, as a chaplain, called, they just had to put the person out of jail. They didn't want to deal with it no more. That's low tech, but we've been trying to tell Moors over the years that they say you are the government, right? The power is in your hands. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Told Dorothy she could have went to the end of the movie at any moment. She could have clicked her heels 3 times and went straight back to Kansas at any time, right? Ain't there something? And so with that, we didn't know that before. So it's the power. So even in a low tech way, without having a video camera, the audio calls were taped. And if they needed to, they could contact the clerk of the court or the jail and get the copy of that audio call. So it is an audio recording. So even though the grandmom and the loved ones and all the women are called in the local precinct or the jail, even though it's not supposed to be journalism and media, it kind of come off like ambush journalism to the jail and the warden and to everybody that work there. Because most ninjas people don't care about them enough to do that, right? So ninjas get locked up all day, right? Asiatic, like Khalid Umar used to say, crazy addict, crazy addicts. So there's a lot of crazy addicts out there,
It
and they
is.
gonna get bagged up, and some of them as they should type of time. So with that, you know, nobody's really checking up on that person. Nobody's making sure that the jail gives them good customer service, so to speak, right? Person gets locked up and they don't get their meds or whatever it is. But that journalism on the low tech, they call brothers, sisters 2 days, 3 days straight. By Monday, they're doing whatever they can. They told me on the phone that they was gonna make the person stay for 30 days. 3 days of everybody calling that jail every day and checking up on them and calling the chaplain and calling the social worker and calling everybody and checking on the sergeant on duty and getting the sergeant duty name and badge number and getting everybody badge number and wearing them out like an auntie or something, somebody's grandma. They don't want you there. So our press corps will be working in conjunction with our court, with our uh, Boondock Saints, boots on the ground, community policing. And so, if there's any other questions, I'll take them now. You can put them here or in the private chat. Let's see. Like to give high honors to everybody tuning in, by the way, as well. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything in the chitty chat. Okay. Now, any questions before we go? Because there's going to be other workshops we give, but these are some of the highlights, and we like to talk about the exciting parts. We go to concerts, we go to, we go to NASCAR. I mean, wherever that's clever, that's
Okay.
newsworthy, and we're going to call on you to go, and you probably, submit your list that we can approve. We need your assistance and to stay due diligently submitting your content on to the Grand Body Records website tab for Moorish National News. We need you, brother, to open up a group page for Moorish National News when we get off here for Facebook and others. Uh, and so we will begin to send you your card because I issued yours. And so I'm looking forward to getting mine reissued. We'll eventually get some stickers for your land vessels so you don't have to do any parking. I love having my press pass and sticker on my land vessels and to worry about no parking issues. You park right where the Romans part, pretty much. And one thing before we go is that there are public access television and radio stations within your county where we will help you to register, and you will be a duty for you to register there and learn the elements of TV and radio broadcasting. And it's
Hmm.
a fun and exciting journey uh, to learn how to do real TV, real radio. And it's been an arm of deterrence for a lot of foreign venue agencies and actors who would have gone against our nation and our uplifting acts because we had TV here in Philadelphia district. So as much as they hated to deal with us, they still a lot of times had to toe the line and back off because we did real TV in a real market. It will give you an opportunity to make a lot of extra money once you register at the TV station, as you will have a lot of businesses and a lot of nonprofit agencies, a lot of
Hmm.
musicians, a lot of artists who all want to be on TV and who do not have access, who do have the skills, the wherewithal, the knowledge, the interest, or in a combination thereof in order to do it. And yet we're going to walk you through it so that we have a blanket of syndicated stations. And so wherever we've went, Cincinnati shouts out to Prince Montre, Chaplain Montre, and brother Chaplain Ideal Bay, and brother, Greg Thomas out there in the Natty, Cincinnati Interfaith Court, and everywhere we've went, we've trained him up. Sheikh Alfred Tard Eel in the New Jerusalem Interfaith Court. He went to Princeton and registered there at their television station, and now he airs Moorish content. So watch people while people are watching the boring county news station, and it's just talking about all kinds of weather and dumb stuff floating by. All of a sudden, the Moor come on, and he got a half an hour. He got an hour long TV show that a whole maybe 400,000 people watch, and now the more his content is popping out there.
Hmm.
And then this content that we have, the Moorish National News episodes, but also some of your very own media products that you come up with. We're going to air it there, bro. Sis, this is what it is. You're going to air your cartoons. You're going to air your music videos right there in your own station. And then you'll
Hmm.
be poised to make money. I made a lot of money in TV and radio over the years. So those are huge aspects. And this is all in the uplifting acts and basically to do what? Follow our holy and divine instruction, which is to change the literature. So in today's world, that means through multimedia. We would do it in print. We would do it in radio. We would do it in word, sound, power, spoken word poetry, hip hop and R&B, gospel and reggae. We'll do it in TV. We'll do
Associated
it.
Press.
No, we'll do it in all those mediums. Associated Press is an
Well,
outlet, not a
well,
medium. We're talking about
yeah,
print,
yeah, it'll be out there.
TV, radio, and put on mute. And what's another form? What's another medium? Radio, print, media,
Internet.
TV. Well, onto blogs and podcasts.
Blogs,
Yes, to that far. Yeah, to that
podcasts, and
podcast
blogs.
and blogs. That's to be the extension that we go. But our money and our success is the fact that we are a national press ministry that supports a national ethnicity, a nationality of people, and all of its varied interests and concerns and offerings and skill sets and products and services. So it's not about any one of us. Now, we covering all of the nationals, including our own selves, we will still cover them. So that
Going in and out. Still can't hear you. Can't hear you. Hello?
Can you hear me? No?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right.
Now I can't hear you. It can keep going. It's going in and out.
Stay there. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It just keeps going in and out.
Well, this concludes it. And so we'll work out technical difficulties later, but we're
Okay.
going to the public access station stuff. We're going to the public access TV stations and the protocols next time. All right, Islam Owens, it was a great.
It's